Now, an NBA player who, especially these are NBA people or NBA players, coaches that are currently employed, right? And they're public, they have extremely public personas, and they wouldn't be deemed as flight risks. I mean, like they're not, the cops are not worried about them, and even if they're not the masterminds, they are going to use these NBA players to get to them. So yes, Chauncey Billups is going to have, like, if he wants to get out of this, he gonna have to snitch, right? Terry Rozier is gonna have to snitch. Damon Jones is gonna have to snitch, right? And I'm putting that in air quotes because it's like, it is what it is. Like, yes, I don't think people that are involved in crime should be telling on other people that are involved in crime. But if they're civilians and if they really didn't do anything wrong, like if they had no idea what was going on, then they should be very forthcoming. That's when we're gonna learn what their real involvement was, right? So what's crazy to me is that they basically were able to tie these crimes to like several, especially like Terry Rozier, to several specific basketball games where insider knowledge affected the outcome of the games with these players. And the charges that Billups and Rozier are facing, they have to do with like wire fraud and money laundering, right? Do I think that they were the masterminds? No, no. I do think that all these guys kind of got caught up into making some type of money that they all thought was foolproof, and they thought they would probably be able to get money quick, and they thought no one would find out because you know their ties to these people aren't that visible, right? So they probably thought they could get away with it. Like, you do stuff like this because you think you can get away with it, but it's not good money, man. Gambling in general is not good money, man. Like, I know people will swear by it. People talk about how they win. There are some people that act like they have a system and they're not addicted. But I would say, man, it's not good. It's not good. Um, and but then the other side of it is like, what do we expect? what do when we allowed betting, like, that was a big, I grew up in a time where I was a child where Pete Rose was, and it was before my time, but Pete Rose was suspended, lifelong ban from baseball because of betting on baseball. So I have been programmed to know and like just accept that like betting on sports is bad, especially when you're involved in the sports. But here's the thing, like, the it's one thing to have these betting entities, these betting houses. It's one thing that they exist. It's a whole nother thing when you have NBA players that endorse it. When you have these betting houses and betting companies, they're sponsors of the NBA. So what do you expect? You expect that even though there's rules in place, you think that guys are not going to bet on their own games or bet on the games of their colleagues, and you think that these guys are not going to get information that could be detrimental, right? Or could be beneficial to them in some and making some type of bet. You don't think that, I mean, we always have accused people of point shaving in years. You know what I mean? Like, what made them do this? What made them do that? So you think that's not, you think that once you made it at the forefront and once you kind of shoved it in everybody's face, you think that people aren't into doing that? That's absolutely happening. Now, being able to prove it is a whole nother thing, but you don't get indicted from the FBI with this kind of money type of stuff unless there's a paper trail. And with any type of money, there's a paper trail, right? There's a paper trail. Especially like all these transactions are online, all this online betting and stuff like that. Like, it is public, like not public, but like it is transactions that can be traced. I mean, so maybe that's why they thought they could introduce it, because they thought like, well, I mean, these are very transparent transactions. So like, what could go wrong? Well, a lot could go wrong. Last thing I'll say about this is crazy because a lot of people are probably wondering like, how did all this come about? Well, I'm learning this myself, but There's a very interesting article that I think everybody should check out. If you're into this type of stuff, you should check out this article that's on Sports Illustrated, right? And the article is titled on Sports Illustrated. The article is titled "How an Anonymous Gambling Cheat Ended Up at the Center of the NBA's Betting Scandal." It says Shane Hennen, who is accused by federal authorities of fixing NBA prop bets and playing a central role in the poker scheme, has a long history of committing crimes and running from the consequences. So it's a pretty long article, but if you read that article, you'll learn that like this guy, this guy is that one domino that fell that's getting everybody in trouble because they're showing a link between the poker game, the legal poker games, the rigged poker games, and the betting, right? The sports betting and the prop bets. They're able to show a link, and like this guy is linked to all these different situations, and it's his story is crazy because this guy is a criminal, right? Like this guy has committed a lot of different crimes, but then like he's been arrested many times and like has been let go partially because he's an informant, right? So this guy Shane Hennen, he's a witness and he's a cooperator to the FBI, and this guy publicly still sells prop bets, right? Like he still promotes picks and things like that. So like it's crazy, but yeah, check out this article on SI about this guy named Shane Hennen, or just kind of Google Shane Hennen and you're gonna see some stuff, man. It's a way deeper, darker criminal link that a lot of people are not discussing. So, what do you think, man? What do you think about the game on the scandal?